In case you missed it, the latest episode of the Straits Times' investigative series on 4 women who are childless by choice. Why don't they want to have kids? Many reasons, like one woman saying she simply doesn't have the desire, or another who had a difficult childhood and doesn't want to have that same experience with her own child. Although child-free women make up a small proportion in Singapore, the video still striking a chord across society with about 370,000 views on Facebook and nearly 23,000 on YouTube. And it's also garnered hundreds of comments. Like this from Van Tay, who writes, "While I am a mum, being a mum shouldn't give me the right to judge other women for their personal decisions. As long as the couple is in agreement, who is to judge?" Eliza Sparkle says, "I rather couples, we should not be talking just about the women, have kids only when they want to. Otherwise, we might end up with unhappy parents and an unhappy kid." Something similar from this YouTube user. "I feel there's a lot of selflessness and sacrifice required to raise children. It's better to regret not being a parent than to regret being a parent." Tham, Yuen-C, my co-producer on this project, joins me now. She's the Straits Times' senior political correspondent. Yuen-C, we've just seen a few examples of some of the comments the video has gotten. There are over 1,000 comments across Facebook and YouTube, many more on Instagram as well. Why do you think the video has gotten so much attention and engagement?
Hi, Olivia. Yeah, so actually, we did have a lot of comments from child-free women themselves who felt finally they are being heard, and I think they hope that this video will engender more understanding all around and that people will understand how they feel and why they make their decisions, how they think. Beyond that, we had a range of reactions from, really like a wide spectrum of people. There were even women and men who are parents who commented. And I think for a lot of these people who are parents, they could understand the stresses and the pressures that come with parenthood. No matter what joy it brings, it's also difficult. And in fact, I think one of my friends, he was saying that he got a lot of comments from his friends who are mothers and who said that actually they feel that women should actually be prepared and know more about motherhood before they become mothers. I guess the same goes for men as well. And I think there was someone who commented that it's better to regret not being a parent than to regret being a parent. I think if you regret being a parent, the kind of resentment you feel, your child will probably feel it. And also there will be repercussions on mental health and things like that.
Aside from, the groups of people that you mentioned, we also got some from, shall we call them traditionalists, who are saying, these women are being selfish and, their way of thinking isn't considered natural. And even some bringing up the fact that, if they don't have children, then who will look after them in their old age, right?
Yeah, actually, I think there are, more conservative people in society. And I guess because it's still a bit more of a controversial or not mainstream decision not to have children. So there are people out there who, who commented and wondered like why these women would even want to do this. And like, what's the point of getting married if you, do something like that? So there are these women, there are these people out there. I guess in today's society, womanhood is still very much coupled with motherhood.
Some of the other comments that we've gotten are about, how come these 4 women's husbands weren't interviewed for the project? And, we spoke to them, of course, when we were interviewing these women, and we learned that a lot of these husbands, they made the decision not to have children independently of their wives' own decision, right?
Yes, that's right. And actually, one of our interviewees, Dawn, she mentioned that, she's the one who gets the questions most of the time. And as far as she knows, no one ever asks her husband, oh, why don't you want to have a child? So I think generally the decision not to have a child, it's usually a joint decision by couples, but somehow the brunt of, the disapproval falls disproportionately on women. And women are questioned more about that. Women get the fallout more, from the in-laws and things like that. And I think they get accused of being selfish and of being unnatural. So the thing is, men don't really bear so much of the burden of not bearing or rearing children. So, that's one of the reasons why we focus on the women. And I think you can see that there were a lot of the comments online that focused a lot on the women. And I think some of the people even question, like, these women's husbands, like, oh, why would you bother marrying someone like that? You might as well just have a girlfriend and things like that.
Well, Yuen-C, thank you so much for coming on the show to share more on this. That was my colleague, senior political correspondent Tham Yuen-C. If you haven't yet, you can watch our child-free video on Facebook and YouTube.